Hello there.
Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Web Warrior, and this is going to be a Robert Storms-esque type video. If you guys don't know who Robert Storms is, I'll put his channel in the description. But it's going to be like his short videos where he talks about movie, TV show, comic book news. But I'm going to be talking about things that I want to see in the next Spider-Man film. So basically a part 2 to that video I did a long time ago. God, that was so long ago. This will contain spoilers for all of the MCU Spider-Man films. Mostly Spider-Man Far From Home and a little bit of Homecoming. So if you haven't seen those films, I recommend that you click off this video, watch both of the movies, come back, and then we can talk about it. So again, you have been warned if you haven't seen those movies. Spider-Man Far From Home ends with Peter Parker's identity being revealed to the entire world. While I do love this idea, I'm also afraid of this as well. In this series, we haven't really seen him have a relationship with the cops like in the other movies before it. The Raimi films handled it well, and The Amazing Spider-Man handled it well in its first film as well. There was a deleted scene that was cut for time, but it's Peter having nice, fun banter with the cops. And I'd like to see some cops believe he's innocent and some turn on him. This is the biggest fight of young Peter Parker's life, and I feel like with all this hype and build-up, the MCU is just going to play it off and turn it into a joke, or Peter using a scroll to say, "See, I'm not Spider-Man because he's right here." I want this movie to question Peter, asking him the serious question of, do you really want to be Spider-Man after all this? Peter has a big target on his back now, and he has people in his life who cares about him. Aunt May, MJ, Happy, Ned, the classmates who don't care. The stakes are really high with this one, and I don't want it to be turned into a joke or a less serious film after all this build-up. I kind of want it to be like that one Spectacular Spider-Man episode where Venom put out his identity and there was people questioning themselves. Is he Spider-Man or is he not? I'd like to see him go into hiding over this, and apparently he is due to some leaked stuff that came out from the shooting of Venom 2, or Morbius, I don't remember. And plus some of the shooting locations were New York and Antarctica, I believe. I don't remember, I saw this months ago. I think that was a rumor, but I'm not sure. Now, on the topic of villains, aside from the Sinister Six, which is something I do think they're going to do, because they've been hinting at it for a while, with I think Amy Pascal said that some of the Sinister Six are already in the MCU, they just haven't really been introduced, so I think that's what they're leading to, but in case they're not, I picked out 3 villains that they could use. Number 1, Scorpion. I know you're probably wondering why Scorpion, simply because he's been there since the first film, and I wrote my own little scenario for him. He needs the money from this deal to pay for his wife or daughter's treatment, and Spider-Man completely ruins that deal, messing up Matt Gargan's life and his body, putting him in this Scorpion suit. Now, I know that's extremely bare bones, and I wrote Spider-Man characters before, and I know I could do better than that, but something like that. Hell, go for a comic origin. Get J. Jonah Jameson to fund it to take out Spider-Man since he's coming in for multiple films. Number 2, Kraven. I know he's kind of the obvious second choice since he's been rumored to be getting a solo film, and Sony has 2 perfect opportunities to set him up in since these films come out before Spider-Man 3. Set him up in Morbius or Venom, whatever that movie's called. A way I'd write him in is have him hunting down Venom or Morbius since he's always in for a good hunt. Then after the whole Spider-Man identity thing, have him hunting down Peter. Or, you know, do what Spectacular Spider-Man did minus the lion transformation. And last but not least, Norman Osborn. It's been so much speculation about Avengers Tower turning into Oscorp or the Baxter Building, and again, we don't know, but since the big businessman Tony Stark is dead, it's the perfect time to get him into the universe. Maybe get him to start the Dark Avengers, I don't know. I'd like to see him as a evil adult version of Peter, or the late great Tony Stark. Since the MCU lends from the Ultimate Comics, I'd like to see him be the one who created the spider that gave Peter his powers. Norman Osborn in those comics believed that Peter is his greatest creation, that he owes him something. But this is also going to shift gears into what I'm going to talk about next, and it's the final thing I'm going to talk about. While I am glad the MCU skipped over the origin story, I always say it's never too late to tell it or show us Uncle Ben. Look at what the Spectacular Spider-Man did, and I know I've been comparing that throughout this entire video, but they did the same thing with Peter in there, making him a little bit, new to being Spider-Man, and making subtle nods to Uncle Ben, and then in I think like season 2, they quickly brushed over it, and it was Peter at his lowest point fighting his inner demons. The MCU in total has made about 4 little nods to him, and I think they're building up to the "with great power comes great responsibility" line. Who knows, I'm just spitballing. Now, everyone has said that this would be the perfect film to drop Daredevil or She-Hulk in, and I even put this up on my Instagram, and somebody commented that if they're going the route of them doing Peter in court, then they could do that, and I respect that wholeheartedly. But then I sat back and thought about it, not what you said, but I thought about I didn't want this to be like a Captain America Civil War situation to where it's Avengers 2.5 and not a Captain America movie. We haven't even had a single story only dedicated to Peter yet. And that's kind of why I don't like these Spider-Man films coming out after these big event movies. Spider-Man Homecoming came after Civil War. Spider-Man Far From Home came out after Endgame. I want it to be like Captain America Winter Soldier, where it didn't mention anything about Iron Man 3 or Thor the Dark World. I just want a Spider-Man movie smack dab in the middle of Doctor Strange 2 or whatever it's in between. So in the end, I'm really excited for this film. What is one thing you want to see in Spider-Man 3? Let me know down in the comments below. If you made it to this point of the video, thank you to all the new people that subscribe. It really means a lot to me. We're at about like 41 right now. The goal was 50, and it seems like we're getting new people every day. It's amazing. Also, thank you guys for 200 followers on Instagram. I haven't really filmed a video since we hit that milestone, so it really means a lot to me. I love you guys so much. But I appreciate you guys for watching this video. As always, be sure to check out all of the videos in my Spider-Man movie retrospective. And be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more reviews like these in the future. Not really reviews. I'm reading off a script, sorry. If you want to see more videos like these in the future. So with that, this has been the Web Warrior, signing off.